Good morning, everybody. I need my microphone before I begin talking, of course. Welcome to Musical Mornings, Episode 7. So now this show is officially 5 days a week. To my dojo members, I've got the rest of the week of PDFs uploaded, so please print them and then show up when you're coming to do the activities here. Show up with those on hand. That is the best way to get the most out of this. By Monday, we should have the rest of the month of PDFs up, and I'll also have each one of these little workout routines in a book. Each month it's going to come out. And at the end of next week, I'm going to launch my subscriber program so that you can get these workouts in the mail every morning. So keep an eye out for that. If you really want to support this show, I'm really going for something that basically we can all show up in the morning and work together as a community to become better guitarists, better fingerstyle guitarists. I also want to give a special shout out to Tan Rafa, who is an awesome dude, and unfortunately I think he's fallen ill. So I want to say, Tan, I hope that you get better, and please let us know if there's anything we can do to cheer you up or anything like that. All right, so without further ado, guys, check out musicandguitarlessons.com, the link below if you want to see some of my videos. And if any of this stuff confuses you, understand that you just need to keep coming. You just need to keep going through these quizzes, going through these exercises, and over time, you are going to become a better guitarist. That's the idea. All of these activities here that we're doing here in the morning are the ones that are kind of difficult to get yourself to do. It's not hard to get yourself to try and play your favorite song, right? That's the easy part of practice. The hard part of practice is learning to read very well, learning your music theory very well, learning your scales, getting the technique. And if you're able to do it for about 15 to 30 minutes a day, you're going to be an absolute monster down the road, and you will learn your favorite songs much, much, much quicker, and maybe you'll write songs that are on the same level as your favorite songs. So guys, while we're going through this, leave me some questions in the chat. I'll take care of them at the end. Let's start off with our technique. Now, the way that this is laid out, and if you'd like to see more, I'm going to have kind of a different kind of technical exercise depending on the day of the week. Today being Wednesday means we're going to be doing some scales, and the subject for this month on the scales is C major. So we're just going to start off with a 2-octave C major scale here. Next week, we're going to bump it up to doing it in thirds, etc., etc. Sorry if you guys can hear my cat. He doesn't like being in the sunroom, but that's where he has to go during these episodes. So we're going to be doing a 2-octave C major scale. If you're not sure what major scales are, check out my hour-long music theory video. So to start this, we're going to be using an index middle, just alternation on the right hand. So I'm not going to cover that too much. Let's cover the fingering for the left hand, then play through the exercise. Be sure you guys get your guitar out and play along here. So we're starting with C, which is our 3rd fret of the A. And we're going up to D with our pinky, 5th fret of the A. And then we're going to cross strings, 2nd fret of the D with your index for the E, 3rd fret with your 2nd finger, 5th fret with your pinky. Then you're going to go to index to the G string for that A, 3rd finger for the B, and your pinky is going to grab C. That's our 1st octave. The next D is 3rd fret of the B, and you're going to go up there with your index, right? And then you're going to grab E with your 3rd finger, 5th fret of the B, and then your F is that 6th fret, and then what you're going to do is slide up 2 frets from there with your pinky. Then you're going to cross the 5th fret of the high E for your A, and then our B is 7th fret of the high E, and then we have C, 8th fret up top. And then we're going to do all of that backwards, of course, sliding back with our pinky all the way back to our original C. So let's go ahead and just play through this a couple times, guys. It may take you guys a little longer than it takes me because I've been practicing these scales for a long time. So if you need to take some time to do this, please do. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And it sometimes helps, guys, to say these notes as you play them out. So I'm going to do it one more time, nice and slow. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. All right, guys, so there's our technical exercise for the day. Remember, these are to get our fingers warmed up. There's going to be a different kind of technical exercise depending on the day of the week. I think tomorrow we're doing either slurs or the 4-fret spread. Okay, so of course, after our technique, we need to do a music theory quiz. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge this on the screen. I want you to tell me what chords we have on the screen. Now, of course, this is something that you need to take your time with. I put more than enough chords on the screen to challenge just about everybody. And then after I give you guys a few moments to go through these, I want you to A, play the chord, and then B, tell me what chord it is. Then I'll put the answer key as well as go through it here on the guitar fretboard. Apologize for my face being hidden, but my face isn't as important as the notes or the fretboard. So, guys, take about 1 minute to figure these out. These are all in the key of C. Now, tomorrow and the next day, we're going to also identify these by Roman numerals, which is really important to be able to do. But for now, I want you to just know which chord it is that you're playing. Now, of course, Dojo members, you guys can download these and print them off, and all of them include the answer key. So that's a nice resource. Of course, Dojo memberships, anywhere between $2 and $25 a month. I'm going to be announcing some very exciting membership perks coming up soon as my workload allows. Okay, guys, take another 15 seconds, 15, 20 seconds or so, and if you're still looking for the chords to name them, first off, I don't blame you. This is a lot of work. It's tough to do. So go ahead and pause the video. Take your time to find these. The more you do this kind of exercise, the better off you are. So we are not only finding these, but we're identifying them. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the answer key. All right, so we have the answer key here. Now, I'm going to leave the answer key just a little smaller so that, my face isn't important, but sometimes it helps to see the person that's talking. So, starting with the first chord, that is a C major chord. Right, so we have C, E, G, C, E. You can play that in first position. The second chord on the first line there, if you guys are just joining us, we're doing our chord quiz here. We have the second chord being G major. So we have G, B, D, G, B, G. Third chord, Dylan Witt. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. Dylan's one of my students here in Colorado Springs. It looks like C major is correct. G major is correct. The next one, the E minor one. Very good. Correct. You might want to spell your E with a lowercase if I can get nitpicky, because that will say that you're actually using minor. So we have E, B, E, G, B, E. Next one's D minor. I think I actually just listed that wrong on that, so don't pay attention. So I need to listen to my own advice that I gave Dylan. This needs to be lowercase, but it's D minor. D minor, we have D, A, D, F natural. If I wanted it to be D major, I'd need that D sharp on the second fret of the high E. So I'm going to go in and correct that for today's stuff. But guys, don't mistake that for D major. That is actually D minor. Next, we have A minor. So A, E, A, C, E. If you all recall, A minor is spelled A, C, E. Next, we have another A minor chord. However, this one is played in the fifth position. So we have A, E, A, C, E, A. All right, after that, guys, we have an F major chord. This one's also played in the 5th position. So we have F, A, C, F, A, and it's kind of that C major shape, right? All right, after that, we have a D minor chord. Another 5th position chord, bar chord. So starting on the A, 5th fret, we have D, and then we have our A. After that, D, and then F and A. All right, guys, after that, we have a 5th position G major chord. So we have G, D, G, B. By the way, guys, these are very difficult to read at first. Just be very patient with yourself. You will get better at it. Next, we have a D minor, and you see that /A there. That means A is in the bass. That means inversion, and this is a 2nd inversion. So on Wednesdays, we're going to be using the lead sheet symbols to identify these chords. Thursdays and Fridays, we're going to be using Roman numerals, which instead of /A, you'll see a 6/4 in the bass, and we'll talk about what that means tomorrow, and basically every Thursday and Friday. But this is a D minor chord with an A in the bass, right? And you can play that here in 1st position, open A, 3rd fret of the D and B. And if you wanted to move it up in position, you can grab your A here, F here, and then your D on 7th fret of the G. So we have 5, 8, 7, low E, A, and G string. Okay, so 2nd line, what we're doing here is we're not doing fully fleshed out chords. We're doing more triads. We're also going to have some more inversions and things like that. So first off, we have a C major chord. That's 3rd fret of the A, open G and E. You can also play it here, right? And you can also play it 8th fret here, 5th fret, and 5th fret of the B as well. So make sure when you guys find these chords, find them in multiple spots, right? Because, I mean, you can even grab them from more spots than this. You can also get it here, right? So we have 8th, 10th, and 9th. So low E, A, and G, right? So there's multiple places to play every single one of these chords. Next, we have a D minor /F. That's a D minor chord with F in the bass right here. So we have 3, 2, 3 between from D, G, and B strings. You guys can also move this up. So if you want F, A, and D, we have it here. And then the rest takes us past the 12th fret. We don't need to do that because that's just repeating patterns. Next, we have a C major 7 chord. And this one's cool, and it's got an interesting sound because we're skipping strings inside of there, right? So we have a C, 3rd fret of the A, E, 2nd of the D, open B, and a G. And if we were to move this up, we'd want to take the 8th fret here, our E here, and then it's actually, it's going to be a stretch back to your 4th fret there. And actually, this is a heck of a chord to play up here. You could also grab C, E, and then your B here. This is another way to play this chord. So find these in every position that you guys can. It's going to help you quite a lot. Next, we have F major 7. This is one of my favorite chords on the guitar. I think it's just a beautiful chord. So F, A, C. So we have 3, 2, 1 from the D up to the B string. And then our open high E to make it that major 7. And that's just such a cool sound. You can also grab that up here. So we have F, A, C, E. That C major shape up here with the bar chord. However, we're not putting that 2nd finger down, right? So you get that major 7 sound. Such a pretty chord. These things, guys, if you know how to find these chords, then you are cooking. So we have next our D minor chord. Now, again, guys, I accidentally listed that as D major up there. That's my mistake. So we have D, A, D, F natural. After that, A minor, open A, E, 2nd fret of the D, and 1st fret of the B for your C. After that, we have another D minor chord with F in the bass. So our F is here, and so 3rd fret of the D, 3rd fret of the B, and you can also grab that high A up there, right? You can also get that like this. right? So you want to find every position that you can play these chords in. If you guys are having any difficulty locating the notes, Monday is note finding day. We're going to be doing note finding every Monday. So if you are at the stage where this is somewhat difficult to find each and every individual note, just look for them individually for a while. You will get better. This doesn't take too long to get good at note finding if you do it very, very, very regularly. Okay, so next, the third to last chord, we have a G major with a B in the bass. This is a nice, simple one to play. So we have B on the A, right? Open G and open B. If you wanted to add in the open D, it's still a G major chord, right? Now, /B means B is in the bass. G major is spelled G, B, D. If you guys need any instruction on how to spell chords, my 1-hour music theory video is the place to go. All right, guys, so we have next A minor /C. This is just a half bar on the 5th fret. So we have C, E, and A. That's one way to do this. We can also get C, E, A here. Find these in every spot that you can, but C is 5th fret of the G, E is 5th fret of the B, and A 5th fret of the high E there. Last but not least, C major with E in the bass. C major with E in the bass. Bum, bum, bum. That's easily played here in the first position. 2nd fret, open and 1st for those 3 strings. From the D up to the B. After that, if you want to move forward, it's fairly simple. You have C, G, and E here. That's another shape that you can use. E, G, and C. And then you can also come up here, get that same shape up there. Guys, remember, find these in every spot that you can. If you're having any trouble keeping up, just pause the video and try to find the individual notes. Try to figure out what chords those are. And if you have any confusion whatsoever, again, this show is about exercises. It's not necessarily about specific instruction. So if you guys want an awesome hour-long music theory crash course, you know where to find it on my channel page. It's a 1-hour video. It'll tell you exactly how to spell those chords. Okay, guys, that's our quiz for the day. Now, let's sight read some rhythm. The first rhythm sight reading, the first week is always going to be easier. These are going to get more difficult as our month progresses. So the rhythms that you're going to see is, here's your basic template for Wednesdays. Next Wednesday, we're going to have something much like this one, but a variation that's a bit more difficult. So a couple things that you need to look at first. We're in common time. Now you can either clap your hands for this one or drum on your guitar a little bit. I'll just drum on my guitar. Easy enough. Now there's 4 beats per measure here, a mix of quarter, half, and eighth notes. And if you look at the last measure of the first line, we actually have a little bit of syncopation. So the and after the 4 is where you're going to be drumming. So if I count us in, I'm going to do this a couple times. I want you guys to follow along and go ahead and drum along if you're able to read this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a nice slow play through. Let's go a little quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4. All right, guys, so there is our rhythm sight reading for the day. I think you guys are really going to enjoy the regular sight reading for the day. Of course, the sight reading, I want you to figure out how to play this over the next couple minutes on your guitar. Then I'm going to show you how to play it. Guys, this one's a pretty piece, okay? This is nice. And then we're going to take it and rewrite it a little bit. Of course, if you are a Musical Mornings fan and you come in and you write something based off of one of my writing prompts, you do not have to give me permission. I don't believe that I own this stuff. I don't care if you use it for your own songs. All I want you guys to do is learn to read and write. I think that is so important. So important. I'm going to give you guys just a couple more moments to take a look at this. This one is not starting in first position. There's some higher notes up there. Higher notes, and also notice we'll actually be using a little bit of a half bar. This is a little bit more complicated than Monday and Tuesday, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy the results. I'm not putting a lot of the fingerings in here because I want you guys to noodle these things out. All right, guys, we're going to take another 30 seconds to take a look at this one. Take a moment to try and play it, and then I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, and you can look at my hand as I play it. Also, if this is a format that you're enjoying, please let me know down in the chat. If you have any questions, let me know down in the chat. All right, guys, let's take a look. Sight reading is one of the most important things that you can do as a guitar player to get good at. The quicker you can read something, the quicker you can learn it. Okay, so let's just take a quick, just overall look at this. So what we have here is 4 beats per measure, all broken into triplets. Now, we're going to be doing the same picking pattern over and over again, and it's going to be thumb and ring, starting with your low and high E, and then your middle and index are going to go right after that. So we have bum, bum, bum. Then the next 3 beats are just ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, right? So we're going to be starting with that. Let's take a look at the first measure. So we start with a B as our melody note. We hit that, right? So we have that 3 there, and then we're going down to G, back up to B, and then up to D, which is our 10th fret there, right? After that, we go down to B, and we hit our open A, and we're going to put a half bar for that E and C there. So here's our first line. Okay, and then after that, we're going to be doing the first line again, or the first measure again. And then we're going to be going down to a B7 chord, and I would just take your pinky. The pinky's already on the string, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going down to that 2nd fret. You're going to grab 2nd fret of the high E and 2nd fret of the A string and 2nd fret of the G. And then a nice E minor chord. So if we take this nice and slow, and then down here to our let's do it one more time. Kind of a somber Spanish thing. All right, guys, I think this is the next part is my favorite part about these shows. I only spend, a small amount of time writing this stuff. And the reason being is it's not too difficult to write a 4-measure thing. That sounds pretty good. So I want you guys to write. And I know a lot of people really enjoyed this part of the show. So let's move on to our composition, where we are going to be writing some of my exercise. We're going to be changing it so that it sounds a little different. So I took out the second measure and the fourth measure. Now, if we remember, we went from, this is an E minor, by the way. We're using the 1 chord in the first measure. And then after that, we used our A minor chord, right? So that would be our 4 chord. And we go back to 1, then to what's called 5-7, the 5 chord, and then back to 1 again. Now, maybe we don't want to use our 2 chord in that second measure. What if we want, our 4 chord? What if we want to use perhaps our 2 chord, right? Which would be an F sharp diminished chord, which would sound like this, right? So if we went, ooh, I kind of like that, right? So what we're going to do is add in our 2 chord, and we're actually going to put it in what's called first inversion. So our 2 chord is F sharp diminished. It's spelled F sharp A C. Now, if we're in first inversion, that means I am going to go ahead and put that A in the bass. The next part of this, we need to find a good, just a good mix of notes here, and we can actually alter the chord progression that we had used before. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can. Good. Now, when I'm writing this on live on air, it's not going to always look quite as pretty because it just takes time to make things look pretty, and I don't want to waste your time here on air. So there's our F sharp diminished chord. And actually, let me go ahead and show you where I'm playing that with my fingers so that you can see it. I'm actually using that 5th fret again. So we had our A minor chord, which is a 5th fret half bar. I went ahead and put in the 7th fret of the B with my 3rd finger to make it F sharp diminished. That's all we needed to do to change the chord. It's really neat sometimes, the fact that you don't really have to do all that much to change the chord. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to come up with the melody that we like for that. So I liked the ba, 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 ba. So and then I think that really goes well with leading back into the melody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of a Sibelius shortcut that I like, and then I'm going to change the melody notes. So there we have this, and then I'm going to change this A up to a B, and then this A up to a C. So what we get as far as that melody goes, let me go ahead and show you guys my hands here. What we get as far as that melody goes is this new 5th fret bar, and then we're going to grab the B here up at the 7th fret, and then our open again, and then the 8th fret for that C. So we get, which is pretty neat, right? Okay, guys, now let's move on to that last measure and see what we can make this sound like. We had 5-7 for the last measure. And I don't really see a reason to change, the fact that we had 5-7, except maybe we want more of a pull. So why not, instead of having the B in the bass, why don't we change it to like a D sharp? And yeah, I think I like that, because what we get is, and then, yeah, that's kind of a, yeah, I like that. So if we're thinking about our 5-7 chord, it's a B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. So there's our D, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it sharp. And then after that, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I fill in the rest of this chord correctly. So we have F sharp, right? And if we're picking downwards, I'm going to have our B there. That's our root. We need that. By all means, we need that. And there's our general picking pattern. Let me use my quick little Sibelius trick so that we can save time here on air. Guys, let me know if you have any questions right now. That is the time to start typing them. 2, 3. And then we're going to kind of mimic the last melody, but we're going to maybe invert it a little bit. Okay, so then what we could do is we come down here to the D sharp. And then I think one last tweak for this, I think would be good is to take this low E and move it up to a regular E. What kind of thing is a regular E? Move it up to the E that is on our D string. So that D sharp that we had put in there, which is causing a lot of tension in the chord progression, actually resolves properly to its E. That D sharp is what's known as a leading tone. The D sharp is there only to get you to that E. So let's take a listen to what our new creation sounds like. So we have... All right, I'm going to play it one more time for you guys so that you can see my hand while I do it. Oops, sorry, let me do that again. All right, so there is all the exercises for this morning. Doesn't look like we have too many questions in. Thanks for dropping in, guys, sharing your answers with us, all of that stuff. This is Musical Mornings, episode 7. Again, guys, download the PDFs. Do these with me, but also with yourself. Like, this stuff is absolutely crucial for becoming, the best guitarist that you can become. From beginner to advanced, we should all be doing sight reading, music theory, and a little bit of composition every day. And over a number of years, you will become something that is just unimaginable to yourself right now, I think. So I am also doing this morning routine, not just for you guys, but for myself, because I know how much it helps. Think about how good I'm going to get, because I'm writing all of this stuff. So I'm very excited. I hope that you guys are very excited. Drummer in the Park drops in last minute. It's all good, Drummer in the Park. We'll see you soon. I'll be here every morning. You're a regular viewer, and I'm always happy to see you drop in, even if it's a little bit late. So don't sweat it. There's always the replay button. So once I end the stream, guys, you can wait a few minutes for YouTube to process this sucker and just watch it off of my channel page. You can also take a look at the Musical Mornings playlist. This is a show that I plan on doing every weekday for a long while. I think it's a very, very helpful thing for not only me, but also my personal students that come in one-on-one to learn. And it's also a really great way to spread free education around the globe. So if you guys want to join this community, if you guys want to help with keeping this show running and keeping food going into my mouth so that I can keep writing exercises for you guys, then join the Fretboard Dojo anywhere between $2 and $25 a month. I will also be taking probably a couple more personal students on in the next coming month or two once I get some things situated. So be aware of that. Otherwise, guys, happy practice, and I will see you tomorrow.